Everybody, I'm going to show you how to do a simple little project that will help you keep your mind and your hands occupied right now. I'm sure a lot of you are in the same boat as I am, and you are at home socially isolating. Maybe you're in a high-risk category like me and you have to keep your distance from people all the more. I'm only leaving for medical appointments right now, so I've been trying to come up with all kinds of little things I can do to keep myself occupied. I'm going to show you how to make these little crocheted pattern weights. Okay, well, maybe you don't sew, so you don't need pattern weights. Well, maybe you have a friend or a relative who sews or quilts and who would like to have a set as a gift. Or, if you have kids that are really bored right about now, you can make up a set of these. It's going to make them a little softer, a little less likely to scuff something or scratch it if it hits something. You can make a little wash or toss game where you can take little boxes and, the smaller the box, the more points, and put a line on the ground and have the kids stand behind the line and have a little wash or toss. So, these aren't just for pattern weights. It's a good little make-do project and a good little busy work project that you can find a lot of use for. Now, pattern weights, if you don't want to pin your pattern pieces to cut out what you're sewing, you can use a weight to weigh them down. Of course, you can improvise with any little household item, or you can buy pre-made pattern weights, but these are really easy to make, and it's just a good little make-do project. And if you make them in really nice, pretty colors, they're a neat little gift for someone who sews. And you don't need a lot to make them. The one thing that you're going to definitely need is some washers. These washers, I believe they're called fender washers. You can get them on Amazon. And you can also get them from any hardware store. The home improvement centers will have them. You can mail order from the home improvement centers, but I have seen these on Amazon. They're a little bit more expensive on Amazon than in a home improvement center or a hardware store. But right now, if you're sticking with mail order, this is going to be your best bet. It may take a while to get them, but hopefully you have some washers on hand. If you only have thin washers, you can stack them to make them heavier. The only thing you want to look out for is to make sure that the hole in the middle of the washer is big enough for your hook to go through to work your yarn. So you're going to need washers, and you're going to need yarn, and this is a good project to use up scrap yarn. And that's exactly what this is, was leftover, the better part of a skein of worsted weight acrylic yarn, and you're going to need just a hook that corresponds to your yarn. You're going to need scissors, and then you're also going to need a yarn needle for when you're done with all of them. So it's very simple. You want to hold up your yarn, get a good grip on the tail. You're going to put your hook through the hole in the washer. All right. You're going to pull up a loop of yarn. All right. You're going to want to hold that tail so that it doesn't just pull through. You're going to take your hook, you're going to scoop your working yarn, and you're going to pull it through the loop, okay? And then you're going to reach through the washer again. You're going to scoop up the yarn, and you're going to pull it through the loops, all right? And you don't want to do it too terribly tight. So you're going to keep going through, and you're going to scoop and then through the loops. And then once you've done a couple of them, you can go ahead and drop the tail, and we'll deal with that later. So you're going to just keep scoop and through the loops. All right, through the washer, scoop the yarn, through the loops. Through the washer, scoop the yarn, through the loops. And if it's all messy like this, that doesn't really matter right now, because we're going to fix that in a minute. So you want to get about 10 stitches done. So you're going through the washer, scoop the yarn, through the loops, okay? And once you've got about 10 to a dozen loops done, go ahead and leave your working yarn or your live stitch with a big loop so it doesn't just pull through. And you're going to just kind of pull your stitches up to the top of the washer and bunch them together a little bit. All right. and then you're going to continue on with the project. You're gonna go through the washer, scoop the yarn through the loops, okay? Through the washer, scoop the yarn through the loops. And you're just gonna continue scooping and looping your way around the washer, and periodically you're going to want to tidy it up. You're gonna want to kind of scooch them all together and line up your stitches, and you can do them as spaced out or as dense as you want. I try to just cover the washer as much as I can, and just keep scooping. You just keep scooping and looping and 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 scooping and looping. And all right, it looks like I'm getting close to the end, and it looks like my washer is mostly covered. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of move the yarn out of the way and do a few more stitches. And I'm gonna scoop and loop through the washer, scoop the yarn, pull through the loops. Okay, through the washer, scoop the yarn through the loops, and that's it. I'm done with this one, so I'm just gonna kind of scooch them all together. I'm gonna tighten down my working yarn, and I'm gonna find that first loop I made, right? And I'm gonna put my hook through the top of that first stitch I made, and I'm going to pull my yarn through, and then I'm going to pull it through my last stitch, and I'm going to cut off my yarn, okay? And then all I have to do is pull the tail through that last loop and lock it in. And then I can go back and just kind of fiddle with it and spread them around and get everything evened out. And then I'm just going to finish weaving in the tails and snip them off, and I'm done. And that's all it is. That's all you got to do to get a little pattern weight or just a little covered washer to do whatever you want to do with it. So hopefully this showed you how to do something really simple to keep your hands and mind occupied, and it's also something useful. So I will see you guys again soon.